In a bold and unprecedented move, pastors from every corner of the nation are uniting to challenge a government they believe is spiraling out of control. On October 22nd, 2024, at 8 a.m., these spiritual leaders will converge for a historic meeting that could shake the very foundations of power in Kenya. With the government embroiled in scandal, spending millions on the impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua while citizens suffer from economic despair, the pastors are ready to declare enough is enough. This is not just a gathering, it's a declaration of war against the political negligence. And the message is clear. The church will no longer be silent.
In the face of these challenges, the church has taken a decisive stand. Pastors like T have made bold proclamations, declaring that if the church prays, it can even bury someone.
Allow me to say this prophetically. Watch the political career of that man. It is dead on arrival. Say it again, Apostle. It is dead on arrival. And may he be sensitive. Because when the church prays, I know people have avoided to talk, but when the church prays, even burials can be organized. It is a serious matter. That man has to ask one of the political ladies who wrote a document to the AG what happened to her political career. She was the favorite, almost becoming a president when she touched the church. In the last elections, though she was a running mate, she didn't even garner votes in her territory. Listen, the church is not the pastors. The church is not the apostles. Oh, the church is a person. Paul encountered the honor of the church. Oh, you can hate the pastors but leave the church alone.
As the economic situation in the country worsens, citizens are feeling the pinch, hardships are rampant, and many families are struggling to make ends meet. While the government is busy embroiled in political drama, the everyday Kenyan is left to suffer. The pastors are alarmed by the government's priorities, spending millions on impeachment instead of investing in the economy. This misallocation of resources has angered many, and the church leaders are determined to make their voices heard.
If you have just joined our live broadcast, the breaking news that is in is that Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua tonight stands impeached, making history as the first sitting deputy president to be impeached by both houses of parliament.
The upcoming meeting on October 22nd is not just another church event. It is a historic gathering that symbolizes the collective strength and influence of the pastoral community. In the recent months, the pastors have shown that they can mobilize their congregation and rally for a cause. The meeting will serve as a platform to discuss their concerns, strategize for the future, and demonstrate their united front to the government. Pastors believe that their unity can inspire change. If they can come together to pray and preach, surely they can unite for the betterment of society. This movement is more than just about politics. It is about standing up for the principles of justice, integrity, and compassion.
This metaphorical language resonates with many who feel that the government's actions are eroding the nation's moral foundation. But who, exactly, do they mean to bury? Is it Ruto, the architect of the controversial bill, or the political system that has led to this upheaval? As public sentiment shifts, the Kenyan populace is split. Some stand by Ruto, arguing for continuity and stability in leadership, while others insist it's time for him to resign. Polls reveal a nation grappling with uncertainty, and conversations on social media reflect a longing for change. Ordinary citizens are voicing their frustrations, some demanding accountability from their leaders, while others call for a more united front to address the pressing issues facing the nation. As we ponder the potential outcomes of this crisis, we must consider what lies ahead. If Ruto continues his term, will he heed the warnings from the church and the public? Can he restore faith in his administration, or will his presidency become a case study in missed opportunities? Conversely, if he resigns, what implications would that have for Kenya's political landscape? Would it usher in a new era of leadership, or plunge the country deeper into uncertainty? As this complex narrative unfolds, one thing remains clear: the stakes are high, and the conversations are crucial. The future of Kenya hinges not just on political maneuvering, but on a collective commitment to the values that unite the nation. As we navigate these tumultuous waters, the question remains: what is the path forward for Kenya? Should President Ruto continue, or is it time for new leadership? We invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below and engage in this vital discussion. In the coming weeks and months, how this political saga unfolds will shape the future of Kenya for generations to come. Will the church's calls for accountability resonate with the government, or will they fall on deaf ears? The answers lie in the choices we make today.
The pastors are drawing inspiration from recent events in Ukambani, where they faced opposition from local witches who claimed that the pastors had destroyed their altars.
Bwana asifiwe. You know what happened? Huo mkutano ulikuwa na impact. Tuliomba tukaenda mahali kuna source ya mto ambao ukaukani, tukamwanga mafuta pale na tukatangaza Ukambani imepona yote. Baada ya kuombea pale Kibwezi, na tulikuwa kneel down kwa hiyo fumbi, wachungaji tunaitana na tuko na sadaka. Baada ya yale maombi, wazee wa Kikamba wamekusanyika na wakasema hawa wahubiri wameharibu madhabahu yetu. I'm not just talking. Saa hii nimepatia chairman wa conference hii barua hapa, tumeandikiwa kama wachungaji kutoka kwa advocate. Wazee wakisema tumeharibu miungu yao, imekuwa confused, hakuna kitu kinaendelea. Hey! Hey! Na kama kuna shida ni kubwa Ukambani ni hiyo ya Kibwezi hapa. Na iko karibu na town. Wamesema mapepo yao wanaitaka miungu, lakini inajua ni mapepo. Mapepo yao imetoroka. Tumefukuza. Hebu sikia sasa what is funny. Sasa wanapeleka kwa wakili. Tuitwa kwa wakili. Imekuwa kesi. Wanasema wanadai ili warudishe madhabahu yao, maana sisi tumeharibu. Tupeane sui kuku mweusi. Tupeane kuku mweusi wa kike, kuku mweusi wa kiume. Tupeane ng'ombe. Tupeane karupu. Unajua karupu? Ile pombe ya Wakamba lita 20. Tumeandikiwa hapo list. Ati advocate anadai hizo vitu. Tupeane. Tunatangaza tunapeana damu ya Yesu. Tunapeana damu ya Yesu. Hey!
This confrontation highlighted the power of united pastors, the ability to confront and challenge evil in all forms. If they can face down the supernatural, surely they can tackle the government's misconduct. This sense of purpose and unity is pampered Pastors from various denominations are setting aside their differences to focus on the bigger picture. They know that their collective voice can sway public opinion and potentially influence policy changes. The government is well aware of this power, and their fear is evident. When pastors unite, they can mobilize thousands of followers, creating a movement that cannot be ignored. The government's current path raises serious questions about accountability. The impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, which some view as politically motivated, has left many citizens feeling disillusioned. Why is the government prioritizing political maneuvers over the well-being of its citizens? The pastors are asking these tough questions, urging their followers to hold their leaders accountable. Furthermore, the appointment of Kithure Kindiki, despite a court orders, reflects a disregard for the rule of law. The pastors believe that a government that does not respect legal frameworks is one that is destined for chaos.
A day after his impeachment and hours after nomination and approval of his successor Kithure Kindiki, impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is still admitted at the Karen Hospital, where he was rushed after complaining of intense chest pain. Dr. Dan Gikonyo, who is among the doctors attending to Gachagua, had on Thursday evening indicated that the outgoing Deputy President will spend at least 3 days in hospital to undergo checkups and ensure that he has fully recovered. Political leaders led by Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka were among those who visited Gachagua on Friday. Kalonzo criticized government's decision to withdraw his security amidst court battles to stop Kithure Kindiki's elevation.
We thank God that he looks stable, and of course it is upon the doctors to continue concluding the investigations that they were doing.
The last 2 weeks must have been very stressful for him. And as a human being, there's only so much stress you can take. His doctors have told us here today that when he was admitted here, he had serious chest pains.
They see their role as guardians of the morality and justice, calling on their followers to join them in advocating for a government that listens to the people. The pastors are not just criticizing the government, they are also offering solutions. They argue that the money wasted on political fights could be better spent on restoring the economy. They plan to discuss strategies for economic revival during their meeting, focusing on community development, job creation, and social welfare programs. Their aim is to shift the national conversation from political squabbles to tangible solutions that benefits the government, the people. This focus on restoration is critical. The pastors recognize that the fabric of society is fraying, and it is their duty to help weave it back together. By uniting for a common cause, they can bring hope and healing to a nation in crisis. Faith plays a vital role in this movement. Pastors are calling on their congregations to pray for the nation, for the government, and for each other. They believe that spiritual intervention can lead to real-world change. As they gather on October 22nd, they will not only be discussing political issues, but also praying for wisdom, guidance, and a renewed spirit of unity among Kenyans. This call to faith is powerful. In a time when many feel powerless, the pastors are reminding people that they are not alone. Their faith can move mountains, and together they can inspire a movement for change. As the date of the national meeting approaches, anticipation is building. The pastors are hopeful that their unity will inspire others to join the cause. They plan to engage with the community, encouraging individuals to voice their concerns and share their stories. The goal is to create a grassroots movement that cannot be ignored by the government. The outcome of this meeting is uncertain, but one thing is clear: the united voice of the pastors will not go unnoticed. Whether they succeed in their mission or not, they are already making waves in the political landscape. The government must pay attention to the concerns of the people, especially when those concerns are echoed by the church. The upcoming meeting of pastors is more than just a response to government actions. It is a clear call for accountability, compassion, and unity. The pastors are determined to ensure that the voices of their congregation are heard loud and clear. They are standing firm in their belief that together they can create a better future for all Kenyans. As the nation watches, the pastors are ready to show that when faith and unity combine, real change is possible. The question now is, will the government listen? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: the power of the united pastors is a force that cannot be ignored. This is Stephen, GCNews.